From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordo, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, May 21st. It could be the hottest day of the year today. Temps will get close to 90 degrees, and the wind, though, will help a little bit to make it feel a tiny bit better, a little muggy, moist out there as well. Late tonight into early tomorrow morning, there could be strong to severe thunderstorms. We begin with a deadly shooting on the Near East Side. Police say a man has died and a young woman and baby are also hurt. It happened just before 10 last night near 12th Street and Colorado Avenue. Police say a man, woman, and child that's believed to be about 1 year old were outside when shots were fired. We're still working to figure out what led up to the shooting. We know the man later died at a hospital, but his identity has not been released. Police say the woman and baby both suffered graze wounds. If you have any information, police say you should contact IMPD or Crime Stoppers. A new study from INDOT is looking at ways to improve I-65 and I-70. They have shown a map, areas in red that include I-70 before the south split and then I-65 just after the north split, are areas that need major road work and need to be redone within the next 10 years. The orange shows work to start in 2030, and the yellow is construction for 2040, which includes the north split. INDOT released the initial findings of the study yesterday. The project is called Propel Indy, and the goal is to get drivers' opinions on what needs the most work.
In this instance, we don't have a certain project or a list of projects. We're engaging the public earlier in the planning process to hear what they need, what they want, what concerns they have, and then looking at those different alternatives on how we can address them.
INDOT says work on these issues could start in the next 5 to 20 years. You can let INDOT know what you think and give feedback through June 30th. We have a link to all that information on wishtv.com. Some major interstate construction could impact your drive for much of June. The southbound lanes of 465 will soon shut down between I-70 and I-65 for paving and bridge work. Construction is scheduled to begin on or after next Friday, May 31st. It's set to reopen by the end of June. INDOT says you'll be able to detour by taking I-70 westbound to I-65 southbound. The Pacers take on the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. It's the first time Indiana's made it to this round of the playoffs in 10 years. Wish TV is the only TV station from Indianapolis to have followed the Pacers throughout the playoffs. Our Angela Morian followed the team from New York to Boston.
It wasn't the smoothest sailing for the Pacers this postseason. Still, they've managed a way to ship themselves up to Boston right here and play the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's the first time the Pacers have made it this far in the playoffs in 10 years. They have a tall task. The Celtics are the number one team in the East, the favorite to win the entire NBA championship. But after beating the Knicks in Game 7 in the Garden, the Pacers are feeling pretty good. This is what the scene looked like as Wish TV was the only local TV camera to catch the celebration as the Pacers came off the floor after a historic Game 7 win. Now the Pacers get to play in the conference finals the same week as the Indy 500. They know how special that is.
In the city of Indianapolis, there's nothing like the Racers and the Pacers when it's all going.
Indy's gonna be cracking. I ain't gonna lie. That's gonna be a crazy day to be in Indy, just especially because of the excitement of the Indy 500, and then to have our game cap off the day. That's really exciting for our city. There's a lot of exciting things going on in Indiana right now. So I think we're just excited to be a part of it, and I think us three are all part of the long-term future here in Indy, and I think we're all excited about that. So excited to continue to build excitement around our city, and just understand we're not done yet. We still got another series, possibly 2 to go, but it starts with Boston, and I think we're all excited for that challenge.
The Celtics have only lost 2 total games this postseason. However, both have been in TD Garden right at home here in Boston. The Pacers are hoping to hand them a third Tuesday night as Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tips off at 8. We'll have you covered from right here in Beantown. For now, I'm Angela Morian for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
The Indiana Fever are still winless on the young season. The Fever fell to the Connecticut Sun at home last night, but it was a much closer game. Final score was 88-84. In the second quarter, though, Caitlin Clark went down with an ankle injury, but she was back in the game during the second half with the crowd rallying behind her.
It's the little things that you can clean up and are in our control. But yeah, I thought our crowd was great. They rallied behind us. They gave us some great energy, and I hope they continue to come back because it's going to be a fun season. We got to remember we played two of the top teams in the league, and we were right there with the Sun tonight, and really had a few opportunities to take the lead and give ourselves a chance.
The game was tied with 1 minute to go. Then Aaliyah Boston went up for a layup to tie the game with only a few seconds left, but just couldn't get it. The Fever play tomorrow in Washington against the Seattle Storm. The track is closed today after a full day of driver practice at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yesterday was picture day. The drivers posed for the front line and the full field photos. Joseph Newgarden showed off his speed once again after topping the speed chart with a lap speed of more than 226 miles per hour. Colton Herta, Will Power, Augustin Canapino, and Pato O'Ward rounded out the top 5. Wish TV driver analyst Graham Rahal also had a good day. He was the 11th quickest driver despite qualifying last for the field of 33 on race day. There is one last practice still scheduled for Carb Day on Friday. Turning now to IT-Mate, the Delphi Murders suspect, Richard Allen, will not be in court this week. Judge Francis Gohl canceled the 3 days of hearings that were supposed to start today and run through Thursday. The online case file has not yet provided a reason for that cancellation. Last week, the judge rejected a defense request to delay the hearing. The defense also added a new motion to dismiss the case to add new allegations of misconduct by law enforcement. They say that they have more evidence that was destroyed or withheld that would introduce other possible suspects in the murder. The trial is now set to begin in October. Staying with IT-Mate, and a newly opened cookie shop that's drawing negative reaction, with some people calling the retailer's marketing strategy racist and misappropriating black culture. The shop, called The Cookie Plug, is on Mass Ave near the District Theater. The building has graffiti on the walls and hip-hop references. Some of the menu items are drawing controversy, with people saying they're named after slang words or drug references. One of the co-owners of the franchise tells our team that the negative feedback to the shop's imagery is hurtful.
I mean, I grew up during this time, and I never have done drugs. Purple drink is just that. It's a purple drink. It's lemonade.
One critic of the Cookie Plug says they think a shop whose local management is white should not be promoting what some see as negative references and stereotypes of African Americans.
When the franchisee is not aware of what these what the terminology is dealing with, and to be honest, tropes that are used as gimmicks to sell people lemonade and sell children lemonade, that is absolutely a problem.
Hip-hop legend LL Cool J is one of the investors in the Cookie Plug chain. In 2023, Cookie Plug announced he signed a deal to open 60 stores across the country. Switching gears back to racing. The town of Speedway has a rich history and love of racing. It all started after two investors spent $72,000 to buy the land where IMS now stands. News 8's Adam Pinsker explains.
It's hard to believe, but they started racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 1909. 15 years later, the town of Speedway was incorporated, and ever since then, both the track and the town have been intertwined. Before it was the racing capital of the world, Speedway was just farmland, 5.5 miles west of Indianapolis, until entrepreneur Carl Fisher and James Allison purchased several farms on land that is now the track for $72,000. Max Beaver with the Speedway Historical Society said Fisher was inspired after seeing racetracks over in Europe.
The United States needed a testing ground, a large closed-circuit track that they could use for testing the automobiles.
At that time, Indiana was home to several car manufacturers, and it only seemed fitting there would be a testing facility. Eventually, Allison opened a race shop on Main Street.
It was a very elite, very well-equipped shop, and they rebuilt race cars for the purpose of racing them at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
From there, motorsports racing gained in popularity, and Allison's career accelerated too. He went on to establish what is now Allison Transmission, a major employer in the community.
The idea that was conceived after the track was built and opened was to make a community where people could drive their cars, could live in the community, could work in the local industry.
You'll see a lot of people cutting grass today.
Steve Vitelski first called Speedway home in 1974. When he came back 6 years ago, he made sure he could buy this house just a block from the track. He says the sound of the cars is the soundtrack to many of his neighbors' lives.
When the first cars go out on the track for practice, it's funny, you see all the people, a lot of the people that live around here, They'll sit on their porches, they'll come out with a coffee, they'll come out with a beer or something. They'll sit out there and just listen to the cars. It's kind of like a magical thing to hear it.
It's a bond Speedway residents have with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the same passion that brings race fans in from all over the world, and it started with a vision.
It was the beginning point for an amazing industry on the west side of Indianapolis that's become what Speedway is today.
The Speedway Public Library is looking for anybody who may have pictures that they want to donate of Speedway dating back to 1926 and of the track as well. This is in advance of the town's centennial here in 2026. Adam Pinsker, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.
You may notice more women along pit lane as the IndyCars race for pit stops. Lizzie Todd is among the many women in key positions on Indy 500 teams. She is a systems engineer with Arrow McLaren Racing after graduating from Purdue with a motorsports engineering degree. She says young women should not be afraid to go after what they want.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, every question is a valid question, and you are meant to be here. If you want to be here, you are meant to be here.
Todd says her love of racing started with her dad after going to her first Indy 500 when she was 8. This has been your News 8 Daily. From Wish TV, I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.